What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. Thank you for allowing me to be your host. I'm Ed Honcho. If you don't know, you can catch me on Instagram, Twitter at Ed Honcho, HDX. You can catch the Den Show at Den Show Live, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And if you ever want to email the Den, you can go to denshowlive@gmail.com. Hey, make sure you catch us live every night, 10 p.m. Central. You can call in and share your thoughts on the topic of the day. And we started at 10 a.m. Central, so Den at 10, remember that. But, today we're going to get into a little conversation. Some shit that came out about MLK, man. And if you don't know, the Den is the best conversation on the internet when we're live, and outside of that, it's a social commentary from a realistic perspective. So make sure you understand that. But I thought it was R.I.P. Rest in peace. They don't let you rest in peace no more. Now they digging up shit on folks, and they just you just can't let a motherfucker make it. Now they talk about MLK bad, and he's supposed to be the man that's MLK in every fucking hood in America. Let's see what they talking about MLK, man. An article from the Daily Mail. There's been articles all over the place. We're going to use a Daily Mail article. Sometimes I like this stuff. Sometimes they promote a bunch of gossip. But let's get into it, man. Let's stop wasting time. Let's talk about it. So, here we go. MLK tapes. Secret FBI recordings accuse Martin Luther King Jr. of watching and laughing as a pastor raped a woman, having 40 extramarital affairs, and they're under lock in a U.S. archive, claims the author. Now, this is interesting, so we definitely know that it will. It's no surprise. Everybody knows the government was watching MLK. We all know what happened with that whole situation. Do a whole documentary on that. But anyway, let's just kind of run through what it's talking about. It says the shocking unearthed tapes have been analyzed by biographer David Garrown. Material shows the scale of King's philandering and claims he fathered a child. That dirty nigga. It also shows how King looked on while Logan Kearse, whatever, raped a parishioner. Revelations could lead to a painful historical reckoning for the civil rights hero. Right. See, that's what it is right now. They got to make sure they go back and ruin the legacy of every man that ever existed, especially the black guys, that ever did anything good. We got to make sure we stay in them. I think that's more feminism than everything. We just gotta make sure that they're all dirty. But I'll share my thoughts on this. We're gonna read the article, and then I'll kind of get into what I'm thinking, because it makes me think of that Dave Chappelle joke about Cosby, right? He rapes but he saves. If he did more saving than raping, then I know some people find that a little bit harsh, but let's talk about it. We're gonna get into some context a little bit later on in the video, but let's read the article and I'll tell you what I feel. Secret FBI tapes that accuse Martin Luther King of having extramarital affairs with 40 to 45 women even claim he looked on and laughed as a pastor friend raped a parishioner exists, and authors claim. So how do they know this? Who gave them this information? But we know that there were lots of moles in the camp, and that's a thing. I want to say it was the photographer. One is supposed to be one of his best buddies was a mole, something of that nature. But let's be honest. Any man in the limelight who gets attention on the scale in which he did, you're going to have women throwing themselves at men. And honestly, a lot of people don't recall that Martin Luther King was a relatively young man once he got, into the limelight. And hey, I'm not saying what he did was justified. If you're a married man, hey, you got responsibilities and honors. Hey, what they say, rule number one, don't get caught. But really, outside of that, hey, he was a young dude that kind of got thrown into the limelight. And I'm not trying to justify it, but y'all can be like, you are justified. And yeah, I kind of am. But anyway, the civil rights hero was also heard allegedly joking. He was the founder of the International Association for the Advancement of Pussy Eaters on an agency recording that was obtained by bugging his room, according to the sensational claims made by biographer David Garrown, Pulitzer Prize-winning author and biographer of MLK. Well, niggas was eating pussy way back then? God damn. Hey, it is what it is. Writing in British magazine Standpoint, Garrown says that the shocking files could lead to a painful historical reckoning for the man who is celebrated across the world for his campaign against racial injustice. Along with many U.S. civil rights figures, King was subject to an FBI campaign surveillance ordered by Edgar Hoover. We already know that, J. Edgar Hoover, an effort to undermine his power amid fears he could have links to the Communist Party. No, that wouldn't be it. But anyway. Martin Luther King married Coretta Scott in 1953, have carried out numerous affairs with dozens of women during his lifetime. So right here, a picture with his wife, Coretta, was also heard that he was joking, International Association of Pussy Eaters. So look, that shit ain't new. Y'all young niggas thought y'all started some new shit. That shit been going on way before your time. All jokes aside, though. FBI surveillance tape detailing the indiscretions held in the vault, not due for release until 2027. God damn. It's a long time. Biographer of King is Pulitzer Prize for 1987 book, Bearing the Cross, about the Baptist minister, has unearthed the FBI summaries of the various incidents. In an article published in Standpoint, he tells the FBI planted transmitters and 2 lamps in hotel rooms booked by King in 1964. J. Edgar Hoover ordered surveillance of King in an effort to undermine his power. Yeah, we read all that. Intelligence Service carried out surveillance on a number of civil rights figures suspected communists that they had interest in smearing their reputation. Let's see. Recording from the Willard Hotel near the White House shows how King was accompanied by his friend Logan Kearse, pastor of Baltimore's Cornerstone Baptist Church, who died in 1991, along with several female parishioners of his church. King's hotel room, the files claim they discussed which women among the parishioners would be suitable for natural and unnatural sex acts. I wonder what that means. FBI document says when one of the women protested that she did not approve, the Baptist minister immediately and forcefully raped her as King watched. He alleged to have looked on, laughed, and offered advice during the encounter. FBI agents were in the room next door but did not intervene. Ain't that a bitch? Following day, King and a dozen others allegedly participated in a sex orgy, engaging in acts of degeneracy and depravity. Wow. When one woman showed reluctance, King was allegedly heard saying that performing the act would help your soul. That sounds like a motherfucking preacher, don't it? Don't tell me King is a dirty dog too. I ain't read the article, so y'all gonna be like, man, you gotta excuse my reaction. So this is new to me, man. Senior FBI official later sent King a copy of the incriminating tape and called him an evil, abnormal beast, and his sexual exploits would be on record for all time. The letter also suggested he would commit suicide before his wrongs were revealed to the world. King's philandering has long been suspected. However, Garrown, who spent several months digging through the archive material, said he had no idea of the scale of the ugliness of it and his apparent indifference to rape until he saw the files. He said it poses so fundamental a challenge to his historical stature as to require the most complete and extensive historical review possible. Oh man, so what they gonna do? They gonna come back and take away MLK Day? They gonna get rid of every MLK street in the country? Because there's a lot of them. They say anytime you cross MLK, you in the hood. So if you didn't know, now you know. Anyway, among the revelations claimed by a prostitute who said she was involved in a threesome with King, which she described as the worst orgy she ever experienced. Damn, how many orgies she had? Wife Coretta often complained that he was hardly with her and even would spend less than 10 hours a month at home. According to one FBI report, King even said she should go out and have some sexual affairs with King. Was a motherfucking freak. God damn. The King. There's even a suggestion that the files that King fathered a daughter with a secret girlfriend in L.A. Both the mother and child are alive but refused to talk to Garrown. King, assassinated in 1968 by James Earl Ray, but many conspiracy theories suggest that the government was involved. I wouldn't be surprised. They probably thought he was going off himself with the file, with the paperwork. He was like, fuck that, so they had to get him ready to make the play. Small-time criminal Ray was caught trying to board a plane in London Heathrow with a fake Canadian airport. Pleaded guilty to the killing, recanted, claiming he was set up. Conviction stood. Ray died in prison at the age of 70. He had been serving a 99-year jail term, making the anniversary of King's assassination. Marking the anniversary of Dr. King's assassination last year, Donald Trump issued a proclamation in honor of Dr. King, saying, in remembrance of his profound and inspirational values, we look to do as Dr. King did while this world was privileged enough to still have him. The president was heavily criticized by some speakers at MLK commemorations around the time of the anniversary as they complained of fraught race relations and other divisions since he was elected. Thousands marched and sang civil rights songs to honor the fallen leader in April 2018. Among the largest was gathering Mississippi River City, where the civil rights leader was shot dead on a motel balcony. Immediate aftermath of the assassination, there were race riots across the country from D.C. to Chicago to Baltimore. Interesting. National Day of Mourning was later declared by Lyndon B. Johnson, from 1971 onward. Martin Luther King Jr. Day has been observed to remember him, but it wasn't until 2000 that all 50 states took part in the national holiday, the last 3 being Arizona, Utah, and New Hampshire. Interesting. I forgot New Hampshire was even a state. I ain't even finna bullshit y'all. 2016, U.S. Treasury Secretary announced that images from the iconic I Have a Dream speech would be among several to feature on the back of American banknotes from 2020. Wonder if they still gonna do that. That'll be interesting. Man, that's tough. I mean, like I told you, I did not read the article. I don't know, man. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. From what it seems now, one rape is one too many. Okay, and I'm not justifying any of that, but it seems like, and we see this in the church today, especially the black church today. You see these preachers, these pastors, and maybe they knew this. This is something we've had discussions about on some of the live streams. How, these preachers take advantage of women in the church, and they're doing a lot of things with these women in the church, and a lot of these women are willing. I don't know if it's through foolishness or men in power is a thing, whatever it may be. But from what this article is saying, that King was with the shit. Again, I don't know about the authenticity. I'm just curious why it's taken, why it's been so long that this has finally come out. If he was such a bad man, why didn't the government, release this stuff? Or, again, they've tried to hide that knowledge for a while, but it's been public knowledge for a while. The government has been spying on King and several other leaders. Why is this just now coming out to try to undermine this man's credibility? And again, if it's true and he did it, it's sad. If his wife has said he ain't been there, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, everybody knew that Dr. King was hoeing around. That's nothing new. And I know some niggas probably watching this like 45, that's it? Oh, come on, nigga, get your game up. But, I definitely am making light of the situation. But if there was, again, like I said, rape involved, then that's terrible. But it sounds like King was on some freaky shit. But here's the question that we must pose. Does his freaky ways undermine anything that he did as far as the civil rights movement, as far as getting laws changed around the country? Because what he did is what he did. What he did in his own time is something different. So this is the question I pose if you've stayed tuned this far to listen in. And I want to know in the comment section below, I want to know what you guys think. Does what someone does behind the scenes, does that take away from whatever movement, whatever work that they've done in the public eye? So, and not necessarily Bill, because those were a bunch of alleged rapes, so I don't want to use that. But this could have been an alleged rape if he watched on and, maybe guilty by association, however you want to play it. But I'm going to be honest, this doesn't change the way I view Martin Luther King, because again, I told you before, I'm more of an ex-guy over King anyway. That's a whole different conversation when we're talking about stances and beliefs and things of that nature. But does this make you look at Martin Luther King in a different light? Does this take away from everything he did for the advancement of black people? And are you a member of the International Association of Pussy Eaters? So hit the comment section below. Y'all know I'm gonna crack jokes about everything, man. You gotta laugh to keep from being sad. But I want to know what you guys think about this shocking revelation about Martin Luther King. I want to know what you guys feel. Again, 10 p.m., 10 a.m. live every day. Make sure you guys tune in, call in, share your thoughts live. We'll probably be discussing this some tonight because this is wild, and I definitely want to get into this topic maybe a little bit more. So not just King, but other people who have had certain allegations. Generally, it's the men, because women, they be wild, but we ain't gonna talk about all that. But anyway, I appreciate you for watching. If you like the channel, hit that like button, subscribe button if you're new. If you want to make a one-time donation to the channel, go to streamlabs.com/The Den Show. If you want to consider pledging on a monthly basis, go to patreon.com/The Den Show. The monthly has some rewards, different tiers. If you want to be a part of different things, have your names and credit, different stuff. And shout out to everybody who has been holding it down. Shout out to James Martin and Stina Stariot. I appreciate your Patreon support. But with that being said, y'all hit that comment section. I got to know what y'all think about this one. I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you want to check that out. I'm your boy, Ed Honcho, man. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I'm out. I'm out.